A leopard explodes through the swamp in slow motion, every muscle flexed, eyes sharp, and locked on something just ahead. Mud splashes violently around its pounding paws, and for a split second it looks like the predator will catch its prey. But it's not what you expect. A tiny, helpless baby deer, trembling, sinking slowly into thick, suffocating mud, eyes wide with fear. Second IMG, a voice whispers, almost trembling itself. What if the one being hunted was just a baby? Lost, alone, and sinking fast. A rescue stick plunging into the mud, a man shouting for help, the deer barely lifting a hoof, its tiny body shaking with exhaustion. Stay till the end to witness a miracle that even the wild didn't see coming. Before we dive into today's story, I have a quick favor to ask. If you love emotional rescue stories that touch your heart and stay with you, long after the video ends, make sure to hit that subscribe button right now. It helps more than you know. And in the comments, tell me two things. Which country are you watching from? And how did this story make you feel? Did it break your heart, give you hope, make you cry or smile? I read every single comment, and I can't wait to hear from you. Now, take a deep breath, because what you're about to see, you'll never forget. The swamp was still, almost too still. A thick fog clung to the muddy waters, and the only sounds were distant croaks and the occasional snap of unseen branches. It was the kind of place where danger watched silently, waiting for something weak, something young, and then it happened. A tiny fawn, barely a few weeks old, stepped on a slippery edge while following its mother. In one breathless moment, the ground gave way. It tumbled into the mud with a soft plop, legs kicking, heart racing. The little deer fought, its hooves scratched at the mud, desperate to climb back. But every movement pulled it deeper. The more it struggled, the more it sank. Its big brown eyes widened, filled with panic. Mud clung to its fur, wrapping around its tiny body like a trap. Clinging to a half-submerged branch, it tried to hold on, shaking, breath short, chest heaving. A faint whimper escaped its throat. It was too soft to echo, but it was a cry for help. In the fading daylight, its white-spotted coat was barely visible under the sludge. The mud was rising, cold, heavy, unforgiving. Every flick of its tail sent out ripples, tiny waves of hopelessness. Its heart thumped violently, then slowed, then thumped again. This wasn't a fight against mud, this was a fight for life. Not far off, in the shadow of tall reeds, the mother deer stood frozen. 3 other fawns stood close behind her. Her ears twitched, her legs trembled, but she didn't move forward. A single wrong step, and she might sink too. She paced, whined, called softly, but she didn't leap. Time passed. Night fell, and the baby deer was still trapped. Darkness devoured the swamp. The stars above twinkled softly, indifferent to the drama unfolding below. The baby deer now moved less. Its tiny legs, once full of frantic kicks, had slowed. The mud squeezed tighter. It was now up to its shoulders. Each breath came with effort, short, shivering, and full of fear. The branch it held onto was slick, trembling under its fragile weight. It let out another cry, weaker this time, like a whisper, but in the heavy silence, it felt like a scream. Its mother was gone. At dawn, she had walked away, turning her head back one last time before vanishing into the trees with her other babies. The little deer had watched them leave, the silhouette of its family fading into mist. That's when the real fear set in, not just of sinking, but of being forgotten. Hours passed. Rain clouds gathered above. A flash of lightning split the sky, followed by a growl of thunder. The swamp trembled, and so did the deer. Its body now limp, its eyes glazed. Every memory of its mother's warmth, her scent, her nudges, came back like ghosts. It let out one last cry. Then, silence. But wait, something was about to change. The next morning, a local man named Tariq wandered near the swamp. He wasn't there for animals, he was collecting firewood. But then, he froze, a sound, faint, like a cough or a gasp, coming from the mud. He squinted, then gasped. There, barely visible through the mist and weeds, was a baby deer's head, eyes sunken, fur stuck to its frame, barely clinging to life. Tariq didn't hesitate. He snapped a long branch from a tree, knelt dangerously close to the mud, and extended it. "Come on, little one. Grab it," he whispered. The deer didn't respond, too weak, but its eyes moved. Very slowly, its hoof reached up and tapped the branch. Tariq pulled and pulled, The mud resisted, but he refused to let go. Minutes felt like hours, and then, with a sucking sound, the fawn was freed, collapsed in his arms, shivering, silent, barely alive. Tariq wrapped it in an old shawl. His heartbeat was wild, his arms cradled something fragile, and he knew he couldn't stop now. The ranger station was 10 kilometers away, but he didn't care. He ran. Tariq reached the station just before dusk. Ranger Daniel opened the door and froze. A man, soaked in sweat and mud, stood holding a trembling baby deer. Without a word, Daniel took the fawn into his arms and rushed to the back room. A vet was called. A rescue room lit up. Hands worked quickly. Blankets, fluids, gentle pats, a bottle of milk. For the next 72 hours, Daniel and the vet didn't leave its side. They took turns feeding it, checking its breath, whispering softly. Slowly, the fawn's legs began to twitch. Its ears perked. Its eyes brightened. By the end of the week, it stood on wobbly legs. By the end of the month, it could run, leap, play. Daniel trained it in a semi-wild enclosure, teaching it how to recognize threats, find food, stay alert. And then, the day came, the release. In the early morning sun, Daniel walked the fawn back to the swamp edge. Birds chirped, wind rustled. The fawn stood still, then sniffed the air. From the bushes, a soft grunt, a sound it remembered. The mother deer appeared, along with the 3 siblings. She stepped forward, eyes wide. The baby deer didn't hesitate. It ran straight into her. Noses touched, ears flicked. She licked the dried mud still clinging to her child. They stood there, reunited, whole. Daniel watched, heart full, then slowly turned to leave. Behind him, the deer family vanished into the forest, but in his memory, the moment would never fade. A story of loss, survival, and an unbelievable return. Not every wild tale ends in rescue, but this one did, because someone cared enough to stop. If this story touched you, hit subscribe and tell us in the comments. What would you have done if you heard that cry from the mud?